Let's take a deep breath. Loom knit socks, the heel. Oh my goodness, it can be a little scary. Someone says wrap and turn and do short rows. Like, oh my goodness, what am I gonna do? You know, I used to be all thumbs. I would drop my stitch. I didn't like lifting up the stitch and doing a wrap, but now you can substitute all those wrap and turn heels with this simple heel right here. It's actually called, now don't freak out, it's called a German short row. It's actually a lot simpler on the knitting loom than on needles. So let's dive right into how to do the heel. You use that also for toes. So have no fear whether you have an adjustable loom or a non-adjustable loom, you can do this. We're gonna do it right now. If you want a longer tutorial on how to do a custom fit, I have one for you. Just click on the link in the description below and we'll get that to you as well. All right, have fun making your heel. Welcome to GoodKnit Kisses. We're all about helping you stitch your love and love your stitches. The heel or the toe are worked in a technique called short rows, where you're working back and forth instead of working in the round, using half of the number of pegs required for the leg. So only the pegs on one long side and then the short stationary side, not the slider, are worked. So beginning at the starting peg, you're going to work around to the last peg, okay, on the short side. And then you don't work this peg. You're actually going to do something called wrapping. All right, so I'm going to show you what we're going to do here. And then you're going to work back and forth and continue going. This is where that number came in that we talked about in the calculator for the 7 that was on my number. It's 1/3 of this number here. So I'm using 20. So I'm going to put 7 here and 7 here, and then there's going to be 6 that are not worked in between. The best way to do that is you can mark your last peg. So you're going to mark the 20th peg here, half of your number, whatever that number is for your cast on, put that here. All right. And then I'm going to mark 7 pegs in for my part of my short rows. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. And then place my stitch marker for the peg. And come here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And these are the ones that receive those short rows. The ones in the middle just get worked as normal. There's nothing wrapping on here. All right, so we're going to begin, and I'm not going to show you all the pegs, but this is how we start. We're just going to do your knit stitch, starting at the starter peg, go all the way down until you get to the last peg that's marked. So go ahead and knit yours, pause your video, and I'll meet you there. Right. So for the German short row method, instead of making the wrap and turn where we would lift up this stitch here and place a wrap on it and put this back down, we're going to actually knit that stitch. So go ahead and work it, and then we're going to pull our yarn forward, and we're going to tug on that yarn. Okay, and then you can see that there are 2 lines here. Let me hold this way. See these 2 lines here? Okay, that is going to make our wrap for us, and then we're going to work that next stitch. Okay, so that's considered a wrap for the German short row. Now you're just going to work all the way back to the starter peg and do the same thing on the starter peg. So go ahead and knit all the stitches. Pause your video, I'll meet you at the starter peg. All right, we are at the starter peg. Go ahead and work that stitch and then pull back to do the wrap for German row. So, and then we're going to knit the second stitch and move on. So you're just going to continue working back and forth and up until right before the wrapped peg, and then make that one a wrapped peg. So I'm going to work from the starter all the way to this peg here, and then we'll work back to here and make this one a wrap. So you're just going to keep going back and forth until you have got all of them wrapped up to these markers here. All right, pause your video and I'll see you when you get there. Okay, you've now wrapped 2/3 of all of the heel pegs, and I've already pulled back on this one here. This is the one that I ended on. So now you're going to work the unwrapped until you get to the first wrap peg. So do that now. So I'm just leaving that one wrapped. Work this one, that one, keep going. And it'll just be that first marked peg. Oops, that stitch. Okay, so for the German one, we're just going to actually work all these stitches over. Okay, it's gonna be a little tight. Okay, we'll work that over and leave that alone now. We're gonna work on to the next one. And normally we would lift these up and then wrap and turn, go back again, because we're actually going to be expanding and increasing. So we had decreased down. Now we're going to actually be increasing back up again. But we want to wrap and turn this one. And so we're actually going to knit this and then pull back again on these stitches. So it's actually really, really tight. Okay, not to break your yarn though. And then work that next stitch. Okay, and then work the unwrapped until you get to the first wrapped over here, and you're going to do the same. So let's do that. Okay. All right, so this is my first wrap stitch. We're going to knit it a little tight. Okay, and then go on to the next wrap stitch. And now we're increasing. We're going to wrap that one again. So then we pull back, okay, and then we work that other stitch here, the one that was marked. Okay, now we're just going to continue doing what we just did. We're going to work on the unwrapped all the way to this one that has the 3. You're going to knit this one over, and then we're going to work this one and get 3 on it and then go back. So you're essentially doing the same thing. You're just going to widen it until you have got, you're onto the last ones where you've got the third one on there. And then we're actually going to work this stitch here. So meet me back when you get to this point. All right, see you then. Okay, so as you can see, this is the short rows where we had decreased and then we had increased. Okay, so this is sort of like where the heel pocket goes. And then we're on our last stitch, which is wrap. That's one where we had wrapped the third and then gone back. So you're going to work this one now. And I've also, by the way, I've already got this one where I had put the third wrap where I had knit this one and put an extra wrap here. So anyway, we're back over here on the short side. We're going to knit this stitch, all the wraps, and then go ahead and we're going to wrap this peg on the opposite side. Okay, so knit it and then pull back. And we're going to work one more time toward the starter peg because we want to do the same thing over here and wrap this peg here. All right, so pull back and then we knit this stitch. Okay. And then work our way back. All right, so pause your video and I will meet you back at this point. See you soon. Okay, so we are back to this side where the starter peg is, and we're going to lift those wraps over. And if these are too tight, you can try and do them one at a time. That works too. And then go ahead and do the wrap and turn on this last one here and pulling it back. Okay. And then you're going to start working these stitches as well. And then you're going to continue to go around and make the rest of your sock. Now, you can also reinforce these corners here. It's a little harder with the German short row. The way you're supposed to do it is you go to the back of this stitch here, the adjacent stitch that's not part of the heel, and you grab the previously knit stitch from the back, and then you place it on the starter peg. You place it here. Now it's a little harder because when I start doing that, it pulls this off. But you can just be a little bit careful and gently place it. It's very tight. So I may have to work this one again. Yeah, then we pull back. Okay, and then that makes that one a third wrap there. Okay, so now I come back to the starter peg, and we want to continue working in this direction. So we're going to go ahead and knit these over. That one, that was the reinforced, and then that first stitch. And then we work all the way down until we get to this last peg here. Okay, and you can reinforce it. You can go ahead and do it now, where you grab this last stitch and try and place it here, but you can see that it's really hard. So if you can't get that reinforced, it's okay. It really is okay. So I just reinforce the one that I can on the German short row, which is usually that first one. It's just a bit easier. So you just continue working on what's the sole of the foot, right up where the heel was made. So all those stitches where the heel was made, that is the sole of your foot. And when you pass that last peg there that was marking the sole, that's actually your instep, and that's actually the top of the foot. So you just continue knitting the length that you need for your foot until about 1.5 inches, 2 inches shy of the total length that you need, and you'll work that heel section again to make a toe. It's exactly the same. Then you can sew or weave the toe closed. You can bind off first and then sew it together, or you can take it off with some scrap yarn and sew it together in a grafting technique. And that's all you need. I hope you like the German short row. Thanks for joining us today, where we help you stitch your love and love your stitches. See you again soon.